past, it was often the Dark Lord's pleasure to invade the minds of his victims, creating visions designed to torture them into madness.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Hey, Wimbledon World Entertainment, and yes, something surely isn't right, because Warner Brothers, HBO have finally announced some actual casting news for the Harry Potter series, and yeah, you guessed it, they actually went through with it. They've officially cast Papa Essiedu as Severus Snape. So Snape is now going to be black. They've also announced a bunch of other castings. Ironically though, none of which are in fact any of the main characters, i.e. Harry Potter himself. But they are of course important characters to the overall franchise and whatnot. But it is Papa Essiedu, which is the one that everybody is raising the eyebrows to. Now, we're going to have a look at this article, but it's just insane to think they actually went through with it. Like, surely they've been seeing people going, okay, this is a dumb idea, especially when you keep saying it's going to be a faithful adaptation. And people keep jumping in and go, they never mentioned his colour. Yes, they did. About 7 times, they specifically mention what Snape looks like, not to mention of course J.K. Rowling's drawing of what she believes Snape looked like. Either way, there's going to be a particular scene that would probably show up in the series that is going to be very interesting when it happens. Let's just say a group of white people hanging a black dude from a tree. That's not going to look well.
Go back to where you from. Get it together. Scum, scum, scum. Go back the hell out of here. Go home. Scum. Pigs. Sorry I'm late. Who goes there? Henry Himmler. What Clavin claimed you? California Clavin, Cucamonga.
However, let's jump into this article that talks about this and the other castings. So, there is a ton of pressure facing the creators of the Harry Potter Reboot series on HBO. The continuation of the property's relevance likely lies in their hands, and Universal Studios alone has billions invested in the idea that the property will remain abundantly popular. By the way, just before I go on, if anyone's going, why would Universal? Because Harry Potter land is in Universal, so that's where their money is going. New casting choices released today by Variety are certainly interesting. From Lithgow to Essiedu, there are big risk/reward chances being taken. HBO has officially unveiled the first wave of casting for its highly anticipated Harry Potter television series, marking a significant step forward in the franchise expansion into long-form storytelling. This series, described as a faithful adaptation of J.K. Rowling's 7-book saga, is set to premiere in 2026 on HBO and will stream globally on Max, which I find that interesting because you can't get Max over here. So when they're saying it will stream globally on Max, no it won't, because we don't get Max. I'm pretty sure it's only the US, I think maybe Mexico and Canada that get Max. No one else gets Max, but we have Sky Atlantic, which is basically a combination of HBO, CBS, Showtime and stuff, so that's probably where it'll end up. So it's saying, leading the ensemble is Emmy and Tony Award winner John Lithgow, who will portray Dumbledore. Lithgow acknowledged the challenge of stepping into the role, stating that he would work with a dialect coach to adopt a British accent, maintaining the series' tradition of predominantly British cast. Joining him is 2-time Oscar nominee Janet McTeer as Professor McGonagall. McTeer's extensive stage and screen experience is expected to bring depth to the character. I don't recognize her name. I might have seen her in something, I don't know. The name doesn't ring a bell. Here's the big one though. Papa Essiedu, acclaimed for his roles in I May Destroy You and Gangs of London, has been cast as Severus Snape. Essiedu is an interesting pick for a number of obvious reasons. One which might be looked over is his age. At 34 years of age, Essiedu also perhaps looks younger than his age, combined with the other factors of the choice, and one wonders how audiences will react. And the one thing they're skating around here, which is the biggest obvious thing to go with this casting, is, oh, I don't know, that he's black. It's the case of they actually went through and made Snape a black guy. And people will go, oh, what's the big deal? What's the big deal? Blah, blah, blah. And you'll see all the usual suspects, your John Rokas and Campias and all these morons now that'll praise this and call all of us out and say, well, we're just bigots and stuff. Even though the character is not black, and there is significant black characters in the Harry Potter universe that he could have been given the role to play. But no, they decided, let's make Snape the black guy. So we're going to have some interesting scenes, like I'm going to assume the Deadly Hallows Part 1, 2, I'm not sure which one it is, I think it's 2. The scene might actually go and look a little something like this.
Fight back! You coward, fight back!
You shut your face. If we want to hear you talk, I will shove my arm up your ass and work your mouth.
Yeah, only time will tell, because that's the type of energy you would expect. Can't wait till the trailer comes out and they'll probably drop some rap music in there, because that seems to be the thing nowadays, doesn't it? They call us racist because we go, why are you casting the black dude to play the white dude? And yet, they make sure, no matter what they do, and they put the black guy in there, they put in rap music. That's a joke. However, the casting doesn't stop there, because it's now also official that Nick Frost, known for his work in Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz, will take on the role of Hagrid. Frost's casting brings a new dynamic to the beloved half-giant gamekeeper. He's a good choice, I think, for that type of role. The only problem is, have you seen him lately? He's lost a crap ton of weight. It's like, wow, you chose the guy that did have originally the build and stuff to really portray this character, and you waited until he lost all the weight and you went, let's hire him. But it doesn't end there, because additional cast members include Luke Talon as Professor Quirrell and Paul Whitehouse as Argus Fletch. Talon, a rising star in British theatre, recently portrayed Hamlet for the Royal Shakespeare Company, while Whitehouse is a 5-time BAFTA winner for his work with British comedy. The series is helmed by showrunner Francesca Gardiner of His Dark Materials, and director Mark Malloy of Succession, both serving as executive producers. J.K. Rowling also returns as an executive producer alongside Neil Blair and blah blah blah. Who cares about all these producers? Now, one of the other things that should be put out there just before we continue with this is what Mark Malloy said, that he has made a statement about the casting of Papa Essiedu by saying, oh, this isn't a woke casting, this is because I wanted to see change. So that just means it's woke casting. You wanted to see it because you were probably told you need to have some representation in there. And of course, again, there were so many other characters that were big enough that you could have had Papa Essiedu play, but no, you specifically went, let's go for the, not just a white character, but let's go for a character whose complexion and all that stuff is mentioned more than 7 times in the books. But anyway, it says an open casting call for the roles of Harry Potter, Hermione Granger and Ron Weasley was held in late 2024, with over 30,000 submissions from children across the UK and Ireland. Casting decisions for these iconic roles have yet to be announced. So yeah, they're taking their time to find the kids. I think one of the issues they have with the kids, by the way, I don't know if a lot of people realize this, but when you hire kids of a certain age, now they might be out of the age range that this needs to be done, but with certain age ranges, you have to hire twins for the fact that you are not allowed, at least this used to be how it is, it could have changed by now, but it used to be you couldn't have them work more than 4 hours. So the idea was you hire twins, so one of them works for like the 4 hours and then they get to leave and the twin takes over to continue the work day. That's why you used to have to hire twins. That's why the likes of the Olsen twins were about in what was it, Full House, and the, you know, Daddy Daycare, or not Daddy Daycare, what's the Big Daddy with Adam Sandler. That's why the kid in that was twins. Even Ghostbusters 2, the baby that was Oscar, you always see was twins because you had to have twins, and that might still be the case. Don't know what it's like in Britain, whether that's the case or not, but either way, that could be why it's taken them so long to find. Obviously they want the right choices as well, but it could also be the case of we need twins, possibly. I don't know what way the work kind of operates with that. People will say, well, the kids for the films weren't twins. True, but for series and stuff you did need twins, and certain movies. Again, I think it's a particular age range, so I'm not sure. The other issue as well with what they were saying with this show was the amount of time it might actually take to make it. And it's something like, if you calculate it up regarding like if there's delays, all this stuff, it could take them 16 years. 16 years it could possibly take them to complete this series. The kids will be in their bloody 30s at that stage. It's like, you're kind of overstretching it here. So it's going to be interesting to see what way they actually film it. Whether they may film the first season just on its own. See how that goes, obviously, because they probably are commissioning a couple of seasons. But either way, they'll see how it goes. If it does really well, which, look, even regardless of this controversy over Essiedu, it could still do really well, and they might end up being forced into, okay, we need to film seasons 2 and 3 back to back, get them out, then film seasons 4 and 5 back to back and whatnot. That could be how they try and get around, because the kids are going to grow, and they're probably going to grow fairly fast. However, the controversy around Essiedu does seem to be actually more significant than I think they're giving it any credence to, because if you look at hardcore Harry Potter fans online, the amount of them that immediately have said, I'm out, you've already killed it, no, I'm done. You know, we were going to give you all the opportunity in the world to give us something that looks and sounds like the book and everything else. You said it was going to be faithful, and you went ahead and cast a black dude to play Snape. We're out. And of course, they'll all get branded, oh, you're just bigots and racists and stuff like that. And it's like, no, no, I'm sorry, but no. There's other characters that they could have portrayed, but they didn't. They specifically went for Snape, and they have to know, number one, what the fans' reaction to this news was when it was rumored. They had to be looking at that going, okay, this is looking rocky. They still went through with it, but they also have to understand of what kind of particular scenes and character this guy is. Now, everybody's been pointing out, why didn't they try and get Adam Driver, who actually does look like the interpretation of Snape when you hear him being described with the nose and all this stuff? Don't know. Maybe they were going to go for him, and maybe he was too expensive, or he had no interest. Don't know. Either way, let's call it what it is. It's a dumb choice to go with Papa Essiedu. Time is going to tell what happens with this show. But right now, yeah, they haven't done themselves any favours, and the fans aren't particularly happy. We'll see. So with that, I shall leave it there for this one. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Cheers, and I'll catch you in the next one.
Okay, I'm going. Take off.